Well, I have a great playlist. I mean,
Playlist?
I have a playlist that's...
What do you got here?
So this is stuff that wouldn't have happened years ago. This is all good stuff.
Yeah.
That's too old for you.
And that's all, folks.
Can we get serious now?
See, their morals, their code, it's a bad joke. Dropped at the first sign of trouble. They're only as good as the world allows them to be. I'll show you. When the chips are down, these civilized people, they'll eat each other.
It wasn't hard. See, madness, as you know, is like gravity. All it takes is a little push.
If what?
The way y'all liberals are backtracking on everything y'all say or do, y'all make a fucked up comment and then try to, no, I only meant it this way. I wasn't talking about this. I only meant that. That's why y'all lost the election. Y'all have no ability to, accountability. Y'all don't know how to admit when you're wrong. You don't know how to take advice. You don't know when your ideas are batshit fucking stupid. I swear to God. Black, white, Spanish makes no goddamn difference. Y'all rainbow warriors, y'all liberals will never win another fucking election in this country.
And I think that, frankly, I wouldn't be surprised if me and Trump won just the normal gay guy vote. What? Because, again, they just wanted to be left the hell alone.
You're safe, Jeffrey. He's not talking about you. I think he's talking about me, well, normal gay girl, and other people like me. You know, the LGB part. Because the LGB part is tired of y'all in the TIAQXYZ. Because about 2015, we got marriage rights. That was all we needed. That is all we needed for equality. People were dancing in the streets, we were excited, and no one gave a shit about us. It's only been about the last 5 years that people have given a giant shit about us, and homophobia is on the rise. People don't like us again. Why is that? What changed? Do you think that people just woke up one day and became more cruel?
Did not lose this election because she's a woman. She lost this election because there were American families sitting there telling her how they couldn't afford to put food in their fridge, and her solution was to bring out Meg Thee Stallion to twerk on stage alongside just about every single one of P. Diddy's friends to endorse her. She lost this election because there were Americans who lost everything in an absolutely horrific hurricane, and she sat there telling them that $750 should be enough for them if they even qualify, while simultaneously funding illegals staying in 5-star hotels in New York City, receiving 3 meals a day provided to them by taxpayer dollars. She lost this election because she sat there talking about how anti-racism she was, while simultaneously blaming straight white men for just about every single problem this country has. Isn't it funny that if you demonize a group of people long enough for merely existing, they might not want to vote for you? You will no longer be able to sit there and bully Americans into voting for you. It won't work. Unfortunately, our politicians on both sides seem to forget that they are actually public servants. They answer to the public, not the other way around. And they need to get behind that. They need to understand that, and they need to change and reform their policies to fit what the public is saying, or they will get left in the dust.
No. People like you, Jeffrey, and the rest of the TIAQXYZ came out and said, cool, now we're going to involve children. Cool, now we're going to have our teachers teach woke gender ideology, and you have to be okay with it. Cool, now we're going to push for children to be able to reassign their gender, and you just have to accept it. The world is not accepting of it. The world is accepting of the LGB and even some of the T if you want to mind your business as an adult, not push those ideas on anyone else, and just be a person like everyone else. That is what the world accepts. But this new woke ideology y'all have going on when, you know, remember when that trans person went to Disney and talked about his jingle balls in front of children? Yeah, that's what people aren't cool with. So look around, because JD's right. the gays are turning red. Look on just this platform how many gay people are voting red for the first time. Because y'all, we are tired. You guys ruined it for us.
As a whole group of people that voted for Trump that could never say out loud that they were voting for Trump because they were feared the literal repercussions, potentially losing their job, potentially losing their family, for how liberals react when you don't do or say what they want you to do or say. That's how bad it is. I've seen so many videos of Kamala supporters freaking out and crying because people lied to us. People, yes, they did lie. Look at your reaction. Look at your reaction. Of course they lied. They're afraid. Liberals like to take the moral high ground, but they are some of the nastiest, meanest, most judgy motherfuckers I've ever met. You are so nasty, so mean. Your moral compass is pointing due south to the point where your own friends and family had to lie to you in order to vote for a different candidate because they knew if they told you the truth that you would disown them. And that is just fucking sad. That you are so committed to this that you would disown your own family or you would stop being friends with certain people. I have friends that I know voted for Kamala.
The message for all of my conservatives, my independents, and my logic-based Democrats. What we are currently witnessing at this very moment in history are the temper tantrums that are being thrown by these toddlers in adult bodies, right? And, you know, I've been trying to make sense of this. How did it get to the point where we have grown-ass adults acting in such a childish way? And I realized, well, first and foremost, these individuals never actually matured. And unfortunately, we were a part of the reason why they never grew up. I'll be honest with y'all. We let this go too far. We let them continue to act on their delusions, to continue to push their propaganda, to continue to get away with this madness. They're the mentally ill ideologies that we normalize as a culture because we wanted to be accepting. We didn't want to be seen as a quote unquote racist or the sexist or, you know, the fascist, whatever isms they create on a day, right? We went along with it. We wanted peace. And it got to a point where they've never experienced loss before. They've never experienced an ideology that does not reflect their own echo chamber. They've never experienced it, at least not enough to where they actually grow a callous skin, right? That's never happened for them. There was no adversary. Maybe they were on a college campus and so they could stay in their little bubbles. Maybe they were sitting in their room scrolling through content all day. They've never experienced real life situations that have challenged them in a real way. Simple as that. And I'm talking about everybody from the 18-year-old to the 88-year-old. Somebody didn't tell grandma over there that your opinion is your opinion and everybody else deserves to have their own. And a lot of what's going on right now is a clear form of narcissism. And I don't mean that as this word that's just being thrown around. This ain't a buzzword. This is clinical narcissism. An individual who is fixated on pushing their own worldview, right? They're looking for supply, narcissistic supply through attention. They're filming themselves crying for the entire world to see so they can get more of your attention, so they can gaslight you into buying into their worldview, so you cower down to them, so you silence yourself, and instead you feed into their delusions.
We don't talk about politics because we don't agree on them, which is completely fine. It is what it is. Would I ever not be friends with them? Do I know they voted for Kamala? Absolutely. I'm happy they performed their civic duty for voting. But that's the difference between me, a conservative, I would consider myself a moderate conservative, to a liberal. I don't care who you vote for. You're still my friend. I've still known you for 20 years. It doesn't change how I feel about you. I'm not going to yell at you. I'm not going to lie to you. Lie on you or anything. I'm not going to do anything. I think you're great. You're my friend. It doesn't matter. We're still going to go kayaking. We're still going to eat nachos and fucking drink margaritas. It doesn't matter to me. And that is the biggest difference that I've noticed between the conservatives and the liberals, because liberals take that personal. They take that as a personal affront to themselves. And conservatives really don't. We may not understand why you're voting the way you are, but we accept that you're voting the way that you are. Yeah, if we talk about politics, I may try and sway you to my side, but if you don't want to hear it, that's fine. I'm not going to talk about it. It's just crazy to me that so many people felt so unsafe within their safe circle of friends and family that they had to lie, and that liberals have created that.
And so this is my message. We cannot afford another 4 years, let alone another damn day of being a silent majority, because that's how it got this far. We wanted peace, yes. And so we cowered down to the machine. We were afraid to get canceled. We were afraid that we would lose opportunities, that we would maybe even lose the relationships that have already dissipated just because of something as simple as a vote or an opinion. That's where we've gotten to. And again, I wish I could just stop talking politics, but unfortunately, this is where we're at. And I'm not going to shut up about it until we see the changes necessary to get us back to being one of the greatest nations. Look, I moved here at 10 years old, an immigrant, right? Legally, by the way. It took about 10 years for us to get citizenship in order. And throughout my entire journey, I remembered that this country, the reason why we came here is because it was the greatest country in the world for opportunity, for us to be able to do whatever was necessary to continue to rise up in life. And now we've allowed it to become what it has become because we have been silent. We have to continue to speak out. We have to continue to put our values first, to continue to be honest with people, even if it triggers them. Otherwise, we won't just get another 4 years of this. We'll get another 40 years of this. And I tell you this, coming from a true dictatorship, that's how you end up in true fascism. It starts with the silencing. When you no longer have a freedom of speech.
Because we're not stupid. I'm 19 years old and I voted in my first ever presidential election a couple weeks ago for Donald Trump. Young men are tired of being lied to, tired of being oppressed. The Democrat policies, Kamala Harris' website said that she was support of LGBT, women, people of color, discrimination, this, that, the third, but it didn't mention one single thing for men. So many young men just graduated high school, are now in their first, second, or even third year of college and can't even afford a cup of noodles. When they were younger, their parents paid for everything, but now they're growing up. The other thing as well is that Donald Trump went on a podcast tour, which is something that has never been done in the history of politics before. Instead of going to traditional media and doing these scripted 10, 15, 30-minute segments every night, he went to podcasts. He went on Nelk Boys. He went on Joe Rogan. He went with Andrew Schultz. He went golfing with Bryson DeChambeau. And he connected with people and he showed a different side than what the media portrays. I think the biggest threat to America, the biggest threat to our nation, the biggest threat to the world is the mainstream media because of these narratives that they portray that just simply aren't true. If you watched CNN, MSNBC, and liberal media, NBC News, if you watch them every single night, you would think that Donald Trump is, you would think that he's an evil. But then you go and watch a podcast for an hour and a half and hear from Trump. It's the complete opposite. He's for freedom. He's for free speech. He's for lower economic prices in the sense of economic stability, lower gas prices, lower grocery prices, peace through strength, no foreign wars, keeping money in America. Instead of helping out these millions upon millions of illegal immigrants that are coming through our border in waves, help out the homeless veterans on the street. Help out the people struggling that are American citizens that fought for our country.
I'm not voting for Donald Trump. I'm voting for Donald Trump and Bobby Kennedy and Tulsi Gabbard and Vivek Ramaswamy and Elon Musk and JD Vance and everyone else that they're going to bring in this team, this Avengers, this Voltron, whatever you want to call it. And they're going to get in there and actually do what Donald Trump said he was going to do the first time, which is drain the swamp. And he has admitted that he couldn't do it and he didn't do it because he didn't know what he was doing. He didn't even think he was going to win the first time. And he had no time for his transition team. And then it was loaded with a bunch of sycophants and horrible people that were the swamp monsters that Bobby Kennedy has very accurately pointed out. And so now they're privately funding. I love this, that Trump is privately funding his own transition team, not waiting for the government. So they are ready to go and they are not compromised. That is the government that I want. That is that is something. Bobby is 100%. He and Tulsi are going to be let loose to be the bulldogs that we need to hold people to account. And by the way, and they will do it fairly. They will do it civilly. They will do it in love. I've sat with both of them. They are incredibly wonderful human people.
I am so confused right now. The amount of girls that are coming up on my For You page talking about Trump has been elected president. Oh my gosh. We don't have any rights anymore. My grandma has more rights than I do. What the heck are you talking about? What? I can buy a car. I can buy a home. I can go to school. I can get a job. I can do everything a man can do. I can vote. I can vote. I have the freedom to go onto this wonderful app and speak whatever I feel like. That's my car telling me I need an oil change. Anyways, what rights am I losing? And if the only rights we're talking about are allowing men to come into the bathroom with me and play in women's sports and the right to kill an unborn child, I'm sorry, you're crazy and kind of demonic. So if you needed a reason to unfollow me, there it is.
You, sir, do you want a pamphlet?
Okay.
Read it. It's really interesting stuff. I explain, using real science, why we whites are under attack and what we must do to fight back.
Under attack?
Yes, under attack. People aren't the same, sir. I mean, white people are the same. And all the other races are trying to kill us. I don't want to die, sir.
I got friends who's Mexican, friends who's Indian. I've known blacks, Irish, Italians, good and bad and all. I've known good white people and bad white people. And above all, dumb white people.
You, sir, are a real fool. How can you possibly believe in equality?
If what?
In case I don't see ya. Good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
You want another slice?
No, I'm okay.
What else is on?
Yeah, let's see what else.
Where's the TV guy?